Hi, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you are very well this evening. This is our first time going live, and I'm so excited to be here and to be able to share with you this information. I wanted to talk today a little bit about the brain and the limbic system. I know the brain is often one of the last things we think about. And it's kind of ironic because we use our brain for so much, like everything we do, living, breathing, eating, existing, just all begins with this incredible organ. And so much we just don't understand about the brain. Neuropsychology is coming out with some amazing information. And I wanted to talk to you about how mental wellness, mental disorders, trauma, all affects the limbic system, and just some basic tools to help you rewire some of the negative or the trauma experiences that you've had that are affecting your life and just really hindering your wellness. So, the limbic system. The limbic system is made up of the hypothalamus, the amygdala, and the thalamus. And the limbic system helps regulate the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is made up of two parts, and that's the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And each of these parts is so critical to mental wellness. Now, one of the strongest ways to affect and activate the limbic system is through your sense of smell. You have ophalic receptors, which engage the limbic system directly. You have ophalic receptors in your sinus cavities, over your heart, in your hands, your feet, in your arms, and in your thighs. Those ophalic receptors activate the limbic system and help regulate your body, help regulate your endocrine system, your hormones, metabolism, sweat glands, heart rate, your digestive tract, the amount of saliva you're able to produce. All of that is managed through the autonomic nervous system. Now, why is this important for mental wellness? Well, if you are dealing with an excessive amount of stress in your life, if you're dealing with trauma memories, traumatic events, if you're dealing with just daily triggering of abuse cycles or trauma in your life, then the sympathetic nervous system, the alarm system in your brain, is getting triggered on a regular basis. That part of your autonomic nervous system is basically your fight, flight, or freeze. And if you're constantly being taxed on a level where you're having to stand guard and be ready for responding to emergencies, having those alarm bells very triggered on a regular basis can drain your endocrine system. It can compromise your immune system, and in some cases, even trigger autoimmune disorders. This is very important to be aware of. Now, what happens when your sympathetic nervous system is constantly being taxed, constantly being lit up and engaged, is that your parasympathetic nervous system is not able to calm that side of your brain. Now, your parasympathetic nervous system, if your sympathetic nervous system is like the alarm bells or the alerts in your brain, the parasympathetic nervous system is like the responders to that. It helps calm the sympathetic nervous system, and it helps regulate and allows you to reduce your heart rate and to feel more at ease. The best way to activate the parasympathetic nervous system is through relaxation, and that helps your brain stay in balance. You need both systems in order to be a fully thriving and functioning person. you need to have regular parasympathetic nervous system stimulation and occasional sympathetic nervous system stimulation so that you stay at ease and in a place of happiness, contentment, and peace. And then you also have times where you are challenged, you experience some level of stress, you're able to respond to things that are maybe outside your comfort zone. But it's important not to stay in complete alert alarm system all the time. So this is an important balance for us to maintain in order to stay mentally well. This is kind of a big picture here. Now, remember when I told you that the limbic system is activated through your sinus cavity, through those ophalic receptors in your sinus cavity? That's important to note, because if triggering your parasympathetic nervous system is important, those responders that keep you at calm and at peace, if that's important, then one of the best ways to do that is through smell. And that's one of the reasons why I advocate for using essential oils. Using something that activates a calm sense of smell that brings up positive, calming emotions helps turn the alarm bells of the sympathetic nervous system off. It helps regulate those alarm bells, calm the mind, and bring you back to a place of inner peace and happiness and homeostasis. So, how do you move your brain from a place of constant stress, feelings of trauma, triggering, to a place of more relaxation, more mindfulness, more inner peace and happiness? This is a question I get a lot in therapy. We have a couple of tools I'd like to share with you today that would help you engage your parasympathetic nervous system and allow you to relax quickly. I've already given you one tool, and those are essential oils. And I love using essential oils in order to calm and relax the mind. A couple of other really good tools is guided imagery. Guided imagery is when you think of a concept that you can imagine and you begin moving through the negative emotions while imagining this calm, systematic, or methodical way of dealing with the stressor. So one of the guided imageries that is helpful would be gardening. When you have deep negative emotions spring up, we like to think of those as weeds. And you're going to do a gardening exercise where you'll pull the negative emotion out. You dig down deep and you pull it out, and then you begin planting something positive to replace it. So if you have early childhood trauma, or even maybe not childhood, but just past traumas, and as you move through your life, you have things that spring up and just kind of sabotage your emotions in the moment. That's a good time for you to stop and to look at that as a weed that sprung up in your garden. So take the time when you first recognize the negative emotion to assess, to look at that negative emotion, label it that it's negative, it's a weed, and begin uprooting that. Now, it's also important when you pull weeds in your garden to dig them out by the root. Sometimes we respond to negative emotions just on the surface level. And if you've watched my Circle of Pain video, you understand that the surface behavior is not the main issue that you have to focus on. You have to dig deeper and find the original pain center and begin there. So if you have a pain center of abandonment, a root of abandonment and fear of abandonment, fear of not belonging, then you would want to dig that out. You would want to label that experience as I'm see this negative thing in my life as abandonment. I'm going to dig down deep. I'm going to identify that negative experience, and I'm going to uproot that and remove that. But then The work doesn't stop there. Then you're going to plant in its place a positive moment or a positive experience of the opposite emotion. And the opposite of abandonment is belonging. And this is where a positive, mindful intention, I belong. These are the people that I have experienced belonging with. And you're going to recall positive emotions and memories that connect you to that positive feeling. Another really good tool is to celebrate every positive experience, really highlight that and embrace that. So I like to call this the golf swing approach. And if any of you play golf, then you understand that when you come home from a day on the green, you are not going to talk about all the balls you missed and all the times you got it in the sand and all the shots that just didn't work out. You're going to talk about the one really great golf swing that you had, the one really great shot that you took, and it worked. So in mental health, it's so important to highlight those positive experiences and blow them up, amplify them in our minds. So do this with yourself, do this with your family, do this with your children. It's going to help you so that when you have to plant a positive emotion in the weeding exercise, that you'll have all these positive experiences that are highlighted in your mind because you've celebrated every time you got the kids to school on time, or every time you got a gold star or a, great score on your, your recreational game that you were playing, or the one time that, you got all the lights were green in the traffic, or whatever it is, that by the time you get to the end of your day, find one thing really positive to celebrate as your your great golf swing for the day. And then make that as big as you possibly can in your mind. That amplifies the positive in your brain, the wholesome in your brain, and it activates that parasympathetic nervous system. It allows you to calm the alarm bells and highlight what's beautiful and exciting and happy in your life. Another guided imagery that I like to use, I like to call the basement. So often we just chuck our emotions down into our basements. So I walk my clients through a guided imagery exercise of imagining their emotions and their life like a home. You have your living room where your daily interactions occur. You have your kitchen. You can even have your front porch, your doorways, windows, but then we always have a basement. And in our basement are our emotions, our deep-seated anger and resentment. Sometimes it's memories of sadness and loneliness, or even joy and happiness that we have forgotten about. We've shoved them down in the basement like Christmas decorations that are all tangled up in a wad. And we don't even want to go down there and look at these emotions for fear that we might not actually reemerge from our basement. That if we walk down there, we would be so horrified by the experience and all of our emotions would just crash down on us. It is so important to tidy your basement, to take a little bit of time every day to turn the light on, walk down the stairs to your basement, pull up just one emotion, just one memory, just one negative experience, and unpack it a little at a time. Label it, dust it off, take care of it, remove what you can, but store your emotions nice and neatly so that you are not afraid to engage them every day. This is a wonderful mental health exercise to do. It is an excellent way for people to really begin engaging their resentment, engaging their anger, doing it a little bit each day, pulling out that box of dusty, moldy, twisted up, tangled up mess and very carefully dissecting it so that they can take their emotions one little fraction at a time. The other thing I like to challenge people to do is to look around their living rooms in their life and see what emotions they've left out in their daily lives for the people they encounter to bump into, step on, or compromise. That's a very critical exercise, is to make sure that their living room stays tidy so that when they're moving about their day, their kids don't accidentally step on their resentment or bump into their anger. Because just like we have a right to our emotions, we also have a responsibility to manage our emotions every day, to take time to care for ourselves, and to engage ourselves on our darkest level, just as much as we would like to engage ourselves on our brightest and happiest level. We have to manage that sympathetic nervous system and that parasympathetic nervous system so that the rest of our brain can really do what it's supposed to do and get us through each day. Finally, I want to leave this with you. I want to talk to you about mindfulness. Mindfulness is a great big word, and so often we overcomplicate it and we make it out to be this huge thing. But mindfulness is simply using your self-awareness to engage every moment of your life in everything you do. Mindfulness is that wise version of yourself, that person that is both balanced emotionally and logically. Mindfulness is like having a friend sitting with you that's going to help you and advocate for you. So invite mindfulness into your life every day. Take time to purposely, intentionally focus on your life. Take time to feel parts of your body, your toes, your feet, your fingers, your breath. Take time to notice small moments of your life, whether that's sitting in the car or going through a drive-through or, even at the end of your day. Just take time to take self-awareness in, do a mental assessment of some of the good things that you've experienced throughout the day, and cultivate those and grow those in your mind. Your brain has what they call neuroplasticity. And what that means is that your brain will always be able to grow, be able to wire itself, rewire itself, will be able to learn and expand. The mind is an incredible organ. So that means that there's hope for you. If you've experienced trauma, if you have unhealthy coping strategies for your life, if you have mental health disorders, what that means is that you would be able, through time, through mindfulness, through therapeutic treatment, you would be able to begin learning new ways to cope with life, new ways to heal yourself, and new ways to engage your life in a meaningful way. You might not be able to completely 100% heal or go, undo some disorders. Some disorders are very profound, but you can begin infusing your life with positive coping strategies. You can infuse your life with good, healthy treatments and healthy behaviors and new mindsets in how you look at yourself, how you accept yourself, and how you treat yourself. So invite mindfulness into your life. It can help you. It can just begin rewiring the way that you deal with the world. I hope that this video is helpful for you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. You can leave comments if you have questions. I know we've tried to cram a lot of information into a very short time frame. So, but I'd be happy to do more videos and on specific parts. So please feel free to leave questions, leave comments, and always, if you're not a subscriber, please click the subscribe button, turn on the notifications so you can get more notifications when we go live. I'm going to try to be able to do this on a more regular basis, but I'd love to be able to just talk with you and to share with you more on mental wellness. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Bye.